You good to start?
Yes.
Hi, Louis Wharton. You're a theatre maker from the Midlands, and your work combines queer storytelling with bold and inventive contemporary theatre processes. You studied theatre at the University of Warwick, but you've also done improv, musical theatre, directing and performing. You founded your own theatre company, Milk No Sugar, and you're working on multiple projects about queer history which have come from archival research. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Hello, Zakariye. You're a poet, performer, playwright and filmmaker from Birmingham, and your work often explores masculinity, faith and identity. Your short poetry film, Cages, was broadcast on the BBC, and you are a Roundhouse resident artist. Lovely to see you too. What is a piece of art that is important to you?
Ever since I was a kid, I feel like no one knew what to do with me, so I had family members just take me to the cinemas all the time. Like I would watch films multiple times because they wouldn't know which films I've already watched, and I wouldn't say that I've watched it. So I think I watched Finding Nemo like maybe 4 or 5 times when I was growing up in the cinema. Such a beautiful place as a kid.
Right.
And that really connected me to like storytelling, and I was looking into like the story beats and figuring out, you know, the pacing, and I was already like interpreting things which I found really fun. So I think a piece of art for me, and I do think it's a piece of art, is Finding Nemo.
Yeah?
I think without that,
Okay.
I don't make my way into like other films. I don't make my way into writing. I don't make my way into reading books. I don't make my way into anything. So it sounds like a stupid answer.
No,
it
I
is a
love
bit of a
Finding
stupid
Nemo.
answer, but it's an answer that I stand by.
It's really sad as well.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah, when Nemo, when his
Oh, the
parents
film.
are
I thought you
killed.
meant my answer was sad.
No.
And what about you? What's a piece of art that stays with you and that you return to often?
I have a piece of theatre called Cruise. It was like a one-person show by a writer and performer called Jack Holden. I return to it a lot because it kind of has a double significance to me. So one as a theatre goer and like another as a theatre maker. As a theatre maker, it was like kind of one of my first introductions to like a really engaging, interesting queer story. And it was around like the impact of the AIDS crisis then and the legacy of it now. So there was that kind of intergenerational thing. And it just helped me felt connected to like a history that I'd felt quite distant from. So I love Cruise, and he's making some great work now. He just had a play called Ken Rex that was on in London, which was really cool.
Nice. You watched that as well?
Yeah, it was so good. It was like a true crime drama, but like staged. It had like live music, like an Americana soundtrack. I'm excited to see what he makes next. Okay, I'd like to ask you about your creative process. So do you have any kind of favourite techniques or exercises when it comes to writing for you?
I mean, you can't go wrong with like a free write. Just set a timer, just keep going until the timer goes off. But on certain days where I feel a bit creative, like the days where I wake up, I'm like, this feels like a good day.
Yeah.
I'll try and I love conversations, and I think people can drop like really good like nuggets of lines, and I'm just like, sometimes people say something that will stick with me, and
sure.
like I'm like, oh, okay, I need to remember that, to put that in the notes and like make a poem out of it.
Yeah.
Or write something, or it might trigger something. So it's like, yeah, I just on certain days I'm like, I think I have a bit of a heightened awareness sometimes where I'm like, I feel like I could actually hear something that I could spin into something creative.
Right.
So that's a process that I like to do, just kind of like looking around and seeing what sticks for that day.
Is the notes app on your phone as cluttered as mine is?
It's so cluttered. How about yourself? I want to know about like your creative process when it comes to making your own theatre work.
Like this is such a boring answer, but I will literally like go to a desk, like chain myself to the beast and just force inspiration. I often find like music helps, and that sounds generic, but with every like project I've done in the past 2 or 3 years, I can associate a soundtrack with it. And like if I get to like a point where I'm like, I don't know what to write here, I'll re-listen to the same soundtrack or piece of music.
Wow.
Which is quite cool because I can kind of look back through a history of what I've created through sounds. I think as I'm moving like to explore more archival work, I keep doing an exercise where I'll get like post-it notes. So I'll have created like loads of scenes, and then I'll write them down on post-it notes. And then like one day I'll like take them all, and it might be completely random, like where I put them next to each other, or try and hang like the two most like disparate ideas next to each other and just see what comes out of that.
Nice, yeah.
I think with archival material, like it can be so fragmented, so to try and like force it into like a conventional shape or narrative, sometimes I found that tricky.
But you know, with archival things, is it obvious what you want to pick? Do you go in knowing what you're looking for, or is it something that just sticks out for you?
Not really. I think I often look at like ephemera, like things that aren't necessarily like categorized. Like you can often look and there'll be like newspaper cuttings or like court transcripts. But I think the ephemera is often most interesting because it kind of gives such like a personal insight, like things like badges or like business cards or things like room bookings, like often reveal a history that sometimes isn't kind of formally recorded. Zaki, do you have a Birmingham arts recommendation, a favourite venue or place you like to go to or an event?
Yeah, I go to a lot of events, so I'm going to try and like list them all out. So I'll start with Poetry Jam by We Don't Settle. That happens at Symphony Hall. It's where I first went for my first open mic.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2018. So what's that,
wow.
7 years ago now?
Yeah.
I would say that's like a staple choice of mine. Like if someone's trying to get into poetry, I'm like, that's a good place to start off. You've got your Overcoat Poetry. That's run by Bradley Taylor in King's Heath. You've got Pretty Privilege, which is pretty new. It's in Moseley. It's run by Astrid and Memory. Verve do one. Theirs is called Open Door. Hayati, who are amazing. It's run in collaboration with the Art Gallery. That also happens in Moseley. There's a Birmingham page on Instagram called Brum Poetry, and it just shows everything about.
Yeah, I didn't realise there was such a vibrant scene.
There really is. There really is. Like it's kind of like never ending. And like once you go to one, you just connect with the others, and you meet people, and they say, "Hey, come here." And you know, there's Poetry Palace. Yeah, there's so many in the city.
Yeah, that sounds. Do you find they're like accessible? Like anyone can just turn up?
Anyone can turn up. It's so open. No one will ask you any questions.
Yeah.
Like you should buy a ticket, but realistically, even if you don't, they're so nice. They'll just be like, just come in. Just we're not. They would never turn anyone away, and you never know what you're in for. It's an open mic, so it's like you don't know what's gonna happen. But that's kind of the fun part. And you got headliners, and then you also have like new people who you can get like just swept away by some of their work. So that's the fun part of open mics for me. What about yourself? What sort of Birmingham art recommendations do you have?
I'm going to go rogue. I'm actually going to suggest a website which feels really vintage, like why can't it be a podcast? Someone should actually, I will explain it and then I'll say someone should turn it into a podcast. But there's a website called Gay Birmingham Remembered, and it like grew out of a kind of queer history archive or heritage program. I think, I want to say from like the early 2000s. So there's still really interesting information there, but I think it's been updated for years. But as a like starting point, if you want to like rediscover the city in like quite explicitly gay or queer terms, it is so interesting. And I've said this to like being in the Hippodrome, it's so bizarre because like all gay roads lead to the Hippodrome. That's another one from the Notes app. But yeah, there's so much queer history around this place. And I've always said, like, you can't commemorate or celebrate a history if you don't know where to look for it. And I think that's so true around here. Like, just off Her Street is a boarded up building, which used to be the Powerhouse. And there's a rumour that Madonna performed there in, like, the late 80s. Wow. It's a rumour. But there is so much interesting gay, lesbian, queer history in Birmingham. And so if you're looking for that, I think Gay Birmingham Remembered is a great site. You can search terms, there's like maps there, there's a forum. It's really cool.
Yeah, what's stopping you from turning that into a podcast?
Watch this space. Right, finally, we have come up with a question for the next pair of Origins artists being interviewed. So would you like to ask it, Zaki?
Yes, I wanted to ask you both, what's it like working as a creative in the West Midlands?
Cool, well, I think that's everything from us for today. It's been great chatting.
As always.
Maybe I'll go home and watch Finding Nemo again.
Yeah. It's aged really well. You should actually. It's a really good film.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see each other in the next Origin session.
Yeah, see you in the next one.